Hello everyone, this is your romance reading for Friday, February 13th. And in honor of Valentine's Day, I decided to do a personalized reading. And this reading will be a total of 7 different cards from 5 different decks. So the way that this will go is you see the crystals that are on your screen right now. So you will be picking anywhere from 1 to 3 different crystals, which will be associated with the 6 different cards that I'm going to be showing you later. So you have your choice. You can pick up to 3 crystals. I guess you could pick 4, but I wouldn't go crazy and pick like 5 or 6. And the reason that I say that is because the more cards that you choose, the more likely it is that you would be confused because you might get conflicting messages from the reading. And this reading is meant to give you insight, not to confuse you. So be really careful with how many cards you choose. It's entirely up to you. And just have a really good look at all of these crystals. I'm going to tell you about them later because you're going to have a crystal reading and a card reading. So you don't need to agonize over this decision. Just pick which crystals you want, and you might want to make a note of them because I'm going to go on into the reading. But first, I'm going to start with the bonus card. This card is going to be from the Archangel Oracle cards. So let's have a look at that. Breathe. Take several deep breaths and exhale slowly to awaken your energy and to release old patterns. And I'm particularly drawn to the words release old patterns. So for some people in your relationship, you might have some negative behavioral patterns in your relationship where you might keep repeating the same behavior over and over again that ends up sabotaging your relationships. So you might want to think carefully about what it is that you're doing in your relationship. What things do you keep repeating? Do you keep picking the same people who have the same characteristics? Do you just keep picking the wrong people for you? What are you doing in your relationship that is not making it work? Is it the choices that you're making? Maybe are you moving too quickly in your relationship? Are you just picking the wrong people? Is it the way that you're treating yourself? Is it that, maybe you have low self-esteem that's making you jealous, or you might be too argumentative? This card is really asking you to re-examine your behavior in your relationships and figure out how this might be affecting them. And also, this is really important for people who are just stressed right now or who are worried about their relationships. Maybe you're thinking that if you're single, you might be thinking that you're never going to meet anyone. And if you're in a relationship, you might be just waiting for the ball to drop. You might just be waiting for something bad to happen. So just allow yourself to enjoy being in the relationship without worrying about what's going to go wrong. And this card says breathe, so I think that is encouraging many of you to stay grounded. And there are different ways that you can stay grounded. You can stay grounded by going outdoors. You can go for a walk. You can be around people who love you and who make you laugh. You can watch a good movie or read a book. But a really great way to stay grounded is through meditation. So any spiritual practice that you have will help you to stay centered and focused and not stressed and worry so much. And that is going to be important for you going forward in your relationship. And not just for those of you who are in a relationship, but even if you're single, it's still something that's going to be really important for you. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the crystals for one last time. And for some of you people who are single, you don't have to wait for a man or a woman to buy you flowers or candy. You can do this for yourself. You can make Valentine's Day a special day for yourself. It shouldn't be a day where you're sitting at home depressed or just sad that you don't have anyone in your life. You can spend this day with friends. You can plan to, just get dressed up and go to dinner or go see a movie and just make that day really special. But if there's no one that you can go out with or spend the day with, you can have a special day for yourself. You can buy flowers for yourself. You can give yourself a nice warm bubble bath. But I really encourage you to celebrate Valentine's Day if you're single by loving yourself. Okay, so now it's time for our personalized reading. By now you should have picked which crystals that you want. So if you have not, you probably want to pause this video and just make a quick note of which ones that you've chosen, because now it's time for me to show you the 6 different cards. But first, I'm going to show you the decks that I'm going to be using for today's reading. I'm going to be using the Whispers of Love, the Romance Angels, the Ascended Masters, and the Enchanted Map. And you might think the last 2 decks were a little strange to use for a romance reading, but after I had a look through those decks, I just realized how perfect they are. And I'm sure that when you see the cards, you're going to think so as well. Okay, so for those of you who chose number 1, your crystal is moss agate. And this is a really earthly grounding crystal that has many different uses. Aside from attracting prosperity and abundance, it's also great for self-esteem. It's a really nurturing and calming crystal, and it helps with the heart chakra and healing emotional issues as well. So for this crystal to have come up for you, it means that you might need to work on the heart chakra. You might need to work on cleansing and balancing it, which is going to help you with healing old past hurts, fears about love and relationships, and it's also going to help you with your self-esteem, as well as opening your heart and allowing love to flow in. Alright, so let's see the card that you chose from the Whispers of Love. Like attracts like. If you're longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. So this card is telling you that what you put out comes back to you. So you need to be more loving, and the moss agate is really going to help you with that by clearing and balancing your heart chakra. And it's going to help you with opening your heart and allowing love to flow out to others, which will then attract more love back to you. So you may be holding back from someone for whatever reason. You might be afraid of being hurt, or things might be a little tense right now. Maybe you've had an argument with them, but this advice is especially important if you're single. So you have to be really mindful of the energy that you're putting out. If you're loving, then you'll attract more love. But if you're not loving, then that is what you're going to attract as well. So the best way to receive love is by giving it. So you should always try to be kind and caring. Just show your fun and flirty side, be attentive, and compliment them. You definitely don't want to give someone the silent treatment or be too argumentative with them if you really want to attract love or heal these relationships. So for those of you who chose number 2, your crystal is carnelian. And when I think of this crystal, to me it's always about healing. Although it does have many other wonderful properties, and a few of those properties are acceptance and being in the now. The healing property is the one that stands out to me the most, and so that is what I associate this crystal with, which lets me know that some of you are in need of healing. So maybe this healing comes from past hurts or disappointment, from someone who hurt you or betrayed you, and to me you're just still holding on to that. You need to heal. This could be from issues that are relating back to your childhood or issues within yourself that don't necessarily have to do with relationships, but at the same time they are affecting your relationships. So this is why it's important for you to heal. So let's see your card that you chose from the Ascended Masters deck. Let it go. So what are you holding on to from the past? Is it pain? Is it resentment, anger, or disappointment? Carnelian can help you heal those emotions so that you can let this go. And you may be hesitant to start dating, for example, because you're afraid that you're going to be hurt. This can also be true for those of you who are already in relationships. Maybe some of you are living in the past and you're just remembering times when someone betrayed you or someone hurt you. But when we live in the past, we tend to stay angry and bitter and resentful. And you're just being asked to let go of this because when you let go, you're creating a space for something new to come into your life. And you can't really bring in love if you're still angry and resentful, because what you put out is always going to come back to you. And this can spill over into your present and even your future relationships, where you might even begin to distrust your partner for something that happened in the past or something that an ex did. But when you're able to forgive, you're then free to move on and experience more happiness in the now. Forgiving doesn't necessarily mean that what the person did was okay. It just means that you're finally accepting the fact that it happened. You're making peace with the past, and you're realizing that you can't go back and change what happened. But what you can do is control how you let this affect your life. And I feel that if you continue to hold on to this, it's going to be the very thing that prevents you from being happy in your love life. So again, carnelian is going to help you with letting go. Okay, so let's move on to those of you who chose number 3. Number 3 is sodalite. And sodalite works really well with the throat chakra. It's great for strengthening the intuition. And because you picked this crystal, I believe that this is a sign that you need to start making a connection with spirit. And I believe that the reason is because that your angels probably have messages for you, and you probably have already been receiving guidance in your dreams, or maybe you've been getting a lot of signs that you just need to open your eyes and pay attention to. So this crystal is also really great for the throat chakra, which tells me that some of you probably need to work on speaking your truth in relationships. And I think that you also need to work on communicating more. So this is going to be necessary whether you are dating or in a relationship, because communication is always key to relationship success. Let's see your card that you chose from the Romance Angels. Flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. So because you picked the crystal sodalite, I'm thinking that you really need to talk with the person that you're interested in or in a relationship with, because communication is important, but you also need to be fun and friendly. And I know I always say this, but if you're in a relationship already, you need to try to be more like you were when you first met this person. Try to recapture the romance and to reignite the spark. And I think that when you're flirting with this person, that is what's going to show them that you're lighthearted and that you're fun. And it's also going to help keep the arguments down. And it's going to help this person see your fun side. So flirting has a lot of benefits. And people, you might not think that you need to flirt if you're in a relationship, but that's, it's still really important to be fun and be flirty. It makes you more attractive, and it's also one of the best ways to let someone know that you're interested in them, especially if you're single. So let's move on to number 4. For those of you who chose number 4, your crystal is moldavite. And moldavite is very rare. It only exists in one part of the world that we know of, and that is the Czech Republic. And it was formed when an asteroid crashed into the earth, so it's the perfect combination of the heavens and the earth. Just know that it is the transformation crystal. So either your relationship is going through changes right now, or this might be a sign that you need to make some changes. So these could be releasing old unhealthy patterns like jealousy and control issues, or any of those issues or emotions that are associated with the ego and that are negatively impacting your relationship. It might also be that you need to leave a partner behind, or it might be a sign that you're starting a new relationship with someone else. This could also be that you or your partner might need to start changing the way that you view yourselves or each other in a relationship. So moldavite It's definitely a really powerful crystal, very powerful. And I would not suggest that you necessarily get this crystal unless you're ready for some major, major changes. And I'm not trying to scare you, because with Moldavite, the changes that you experience are going to be for your highest good. But if you're not emotionally ready for those changes, they can be devastating. Because, for example, if you're with the wrong person and you get Moldavite, don't be surprised if you suddenly break up with that person. And it could be simply because you're not meant to be with them. So Moldavite helps to put you on your path, and it will move things around in your life so that it happens. So if you are considering Moldavite, make sure that you are emotionally ready for these changes. So let's see the card that you chose from the Enchanted Map. Goblins. So this is about being haunted by our past issues. And this seems to be a really recurrent theme here for today's reading. So many of you are haunted by the past. So many of you need healing. So as far as this card goes, this might be associated with fears about your partner or about yourself. You might worry that your partner is cheating on you, or that they're going to leave you. So this might cause you to be a little more jealous. It might cause you to spy on your partner. It might even make you keep secrets from them. And this is all going to be because of your fears or any insecurities that you have. This card is all about negative emotions. And you might even think that you're not good enough. When we're consumed by fears, it can really ruin a relationship, because we will begin to look at our partner suspiciously, and we might start arguments. We might become jealous. There's so many not so good things that can happen to you when you are haunted by fears. And this card is all about dark emotions, which need to be transmuted. So that is where the transformation crystal Moldavite can help you here in letting all of this go. And for those of you who chose number 5, your crystal is clear quartz. Now, clear quartz is one of the best all-around crystals that is great for so many different kinds of healing, so many different elements. It also works with all of the chakras. It amplifies the power of other crystals, so you can never have too much clear quartz. Now, because you chose this crystal, the first thing that came to mind was clarity and insight. And you know, this crystal is associated with so many different things. It has so many wonderful properties. But my intuition is telling me that you really need insight in your love life. So let's see the card that you chose from the Whispers of Love. Back to what you love. Your current situation is giving you the opportunity to reevaluate what you want. So clear quartz is going to give you the clarity that you need to help figure this out. So whatever you're going through right now, you're being asked to see this situation as a blessing. And you may be at a crossroads, some of you, where you'll be able to figure out what you want and then move on from there. So you might have a good long heart-to-heart with the person that you're interested in or you're in a relationship with, where you will both be able to figure out where you've been in the past, where you are right now, and what you want from this relationship going forward. And this is also true if you suddenly found yourself single again, because now is going to be the opportunity to get your life in order and just focus on you. And it's really hard to do that when you're in a relationship with someone, because you can't just focus on yourself. You don't have the freedom to necessarily do the things that you would do if you were single, because you always have to consider that other person. But when you're single, now is the opportunity to really focus on yourself and get back to what you love. And this means that you'll be using this time to focus on your dreams and your hobbies and just connecting with yourself all over again. So this is a really wonderful time for you, because you're going to be starting over again. And if you meet someone who doesn't necessarily meet your standards, then you'll be able to choose right then and there that you don't want them in your life before you get in too deep with them, before you make a commitment with them, before you become emotionally attached to this person. So Spirit really wants those of you who chose this card to take the opportunity to figure out what you want right now. And clear quartz is going to help you by giving you the clarity that you need. So let's move on to number 6. For those of you who chose number 6, your crystal is ruby and kyanite. And this crystal is very unique because it is really 2 crystals into one. You have the ruby and the blue kyanite, and the blue kyanite carries a really high vibration, which helps connect you to the divine. So together, they're great for manifestation, bringing peace, and healing the emotions. And I think that many of us are in need of healing, and this crystal helps with that. But I also think that you're being encouraged to make a connection with the divine and to begin using the law of attraction to help bring you the relationship that you truly desire, or to help fix the problems within an existing relationship. So let's see the card that you chose from the Romance Angels. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So this is where ruby and kyanite will help as far as manifesting what you want, because this crystal is great for manifestation. You really have to be sure of what you want first before you can get help from Spirit, or before you can begin using the law of attraction to manifest what you want. So some people are probably going back and forth trying to decide what they really want, or if they want to be with a certain partner. So you have to be absolutely sure, and you have to be very specific about what you want. Even if you're single, be really specific about the type of partner that you want. And when you do that, the Romance Angels are telling you that they're going to help bring this to you. So you have more power than you realize in creating the relationship that you want. But for those of you who are waiting for that special person, I feel that they're out there for you, and you do have the ability to bring this great love into your life. So overall, we had a lot of messages about healing, forgiving, and letting go of the past. And I think that if we can do that, it will open the door for love to come into our lives. And again, for those of you who are single, make Valentine's Day a day of celebration of love for yourself. I hope everyone has a beautiful Valentine's weekend. I love you all, and I wish you so much happiness, and I'll see you this weekend.